My name is Preston Beatty. I am going to be doing a video review for the Continuous Quality Improvement Project for the class NURS 711. This project was focused on sleep improvement. Sleep improvement was chosen due to a number of factors. The first one being that over the course of 8 to 10 months, I had been receiving 4.5 to 5.5 hours of sleep. It was also due to the self-recognition that sleep was not prioritized when it came to planning, when it also came to preparation of sleep hygiene routines. It also came due to the fact that I felt very mentally fatigued, physically as well, and I had received several invitations to improve my sleeping habits from professional colleagues and as well as my wife. My team for this project was composed of my wife, who verbalized desire to help me improve, to support me in that endeavor, as well as one of my professional friends and mentors who would be providing help and suggestions during the course of my improvement project. The specific aim of this project was to achieve 8 hours on average a night of sleep, and to make improvements towards that. In order to accomplish this, I utilized the improvement strategy of the PDSA, or Plan, Do, Study, Act cycle, and I will be outlining a couple of those steps. The first phase of my PDSA cycle, the plan phase, I focused on gathering data. This was information during the course of a 14-day pre-intervention phase and an 18-day intervention phase. The data that I gathered was for the same for both. I would gather the number of hours that I was sleeping a night. I would also document my sleepiness utilizing the Stanford sleepiness scale, which I will show you later, at 1 p.m. every day. I was also utilizing an application called the Sleep Well Auto Tracker that would generate a letter grade, A through D, based off my sleep wellness routines and the quality of the sleep that I was getting, tracking my movement and such. I also conducted a literature review and search of information regarding sleep. This was both the negative and positive aspects of getting adequate sleep and the deficits that people would face for those not getting adequate sleep. I was mostly interested in workers that were working shift hours, showing their increase in risk for safety events, decreased performance, mental acuity, those types of events I was definitely interested in. I also was looking into the health benefits, long-term health detriments as well. And lastly, research based on the utilization of sleep tracking technology, utilizing smart phones and other smart applications such as an Apple Watch. So part of my do phase was at the 18-day intervention period, where I implemented changes in my sleep hygiene routines. A timed hard stop was implemented for 2 things: electronic use, laptops, phones, television. I even included homework on this due to the fact that most of my schoolwork is done online. It also included a time hard stop on the consumption of caffeine. Caffeine being a highly utilized substance in my life, something that's very integrated to my routines. Stopping the consumption of caffeine at a certain time during the day. Lastly, it involved the integration of a sleep preparation activity. This commonly involved for me prayer, meditation, recreational book reading, journal writing, additional planning for the coming day as well. Those were the implementations of the change idea that I had, and those were the main interventions and measures that I used to help improve my sleep and achieve my specific aim. The study phase ended up being quite simple for this project, considering I could make changes and adjustments during the course of my project and my do phase in order to better fit my needs. The study phase seemed more of an integrated part of my daily planning and making adjustments to how I was approaching my sleep hygiene routines and how I was implementing my hard stops and how they were affecting my daily schedule and my performance. That it didn't really seem much of a phase that I had to think about. It just seemed like a phase that was easily integrated into how I was already trying to address the accomplishment of my specific aim and making sure that I was implementing all measures possible in order to be successful. The ACT phase ended up being very much an integrated part of the cycle as well. It did not require much planning or preparations as it was natural into my scheduling and my sleep routines, planning and making improvements into my schedule. But one specific scenario where I did see myself needing to act on it was finding a lack of time due to crisis or problems that arose unexpectedly, and I did need to find a creative solution in order to fix those problems and to act on them appropriately. And I see how the ACT phase is very much needed in order to make those small adjustments into your planning and into your study and do phases as you complete your cycle once again, to make sure that you're addressing those problems and that you're not finding yourself repetitively running into the same wall without addressing them as necessary. So when it comes to results, I have a table here for you to see that my averages were all improved over the course of my pre-intervention phase to my intervention phase. Specifically, my sleep average, the hours improved from 5.9 hours to 7.5 hours, which is an improvement of 22%. Very happy with that for how short a time period this was implemented. My Stanford sleepiness scale ratings improved from an average of 2.7% to 1.5%. This showing that my mental acuity, my mental alertness during the day was much better. I was much more ready to go mentally and willing to do different projects and activities. My sleep hygiene score, it was generated utilizing the smartphone application, improved from having several low letter grade scores to hardly any during the course of my intervention phase, showing that I was improving my sleep hygiene routine and implementing my measures that we discussed previously. I think the biggest takeaway I take from a project like this is being able to see the raw potential of this cycle. These quality improvement processes in the hands of people that are driven and who have the knowledge and the resources and the willpower to complete these projects to make a difference, especially in a field as difficult and ever-changing as healthcare is. Being able to follow a guideline, being able to follow a tool, gives that person with the drive to do a direction. It gives them a medium to channel all of that willpower and that energy and that drive into something beneficial and worthwhile. And I can only begin to get excited about the amount of potential that I have now, seeing just how beneficial these tools are in something so simple as improving my sleep. And I'm very excited to be able to utilize this in these types of improvement strategies in my professional career.